possible. You gonna get through it. And you gonna look back and say, man, look how far I done came. But you still got other places to go. You still got more to get. You still got more to grow. It's your time and it's coming. Let's get it.
Right. You was late for this page. I look a mess.
No.
I got out of class.
You say you what?
I look a mess. I just got out of class.
What class you just got out of? You do karate?
No. I have been taking boxing classes, but I'm taking real estate classes.
What? I've been talking about taking real estate classes for like 6 months now. I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna start this weekend.
Yeah. Had to do something during this crazy time, productive to put me ahead.
Yeah, man. How do you like it? Is it a lot of information?
It's definitely a lot of information, and it's just like school. So it's a lot of information that you're learning that you're not going to use after you pass your test.
What? You don't know that.
My instructor said that.
Oh, well, then you do know that. All right.
It's like you're not going to be all the information he's giving us. It's like you're not really going to use this, and legally you can't use this information, but you got to know it for your test.
What? That's a weird thing to say. Are you taking it online or you going to a place?
No, online. They're not having in classes right now.
Oh, I was about to say, cuz you better mask up.
Right. Yeah, no, they're not having in-person classes. I think they're about to open up, but they're still going to be offering online classes too.
Okay, that's super cool. Well, I'm glad you come in early for the better as possible. I'm glad you got your alarm set. You feel me? Like, man, this shit is crazy. So Flint won't be here today. That's why today I'm gonna just be like taking calls, letting callers call in and talk video. Tell me how you feeling. You know, the whole nine. My man's traveling. He got a lot going on in his life, and you know how that goes. You know how life goes sometimes. So I was happy that it was you because we have rapport.
What are we talking about? I can talk about everything.
Oh, really? That mask come, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, so, that sounds like a horror room. What is that?
My door. Shut up.
Don't walk in there.
Focus. I'm walking outside.
All right. Well, yeah. All right. But okay. So, again, this is the Better as Possible podcast, episode 19. So how did your weekend go, man? What you get into?
What did I get into this weekend? I didn't do anything. Just family time.
Family time. That's important.
Yeah,
you know what? You're very family oriented.
I am. And on Sundays, since this coronavirus, we've been like having a lot of family time. So we just kicked it at the house.
That's super cool. Yeah. You ain't get no money?
No.
Let's be crystal clear with 5 minutes. All right. What you about to do? You about to ride off?
No.
Oh, you chilling for a second?
Yeah, I'm chilling.
All right, perfect. So this weekend I'm hosting a panel discussion with Black men called Grieve Together that my wife's friend Melissa basically put together. So it's really like utilizing or helping me build up my communication skills and my actually like hosting an event. This is the first time I actually was like on the mic, like, yes, and so what do you think? Shit like that, like on some real therapist shit.
Is this on in person or on the
it was actually in person, so it was like on a set, almost like a set on a TV show type deal. Like I was like
a set or something
like that. Yeah, it was different, like, you know what I mean? But it was for all Black males and basically getting their different experiences with everything going on and how they deal with grief. And so the first episode was based on shock. And so it'll be a 7 series, I guess, monologue or documentary or, you know, whatever show. So that was like really cool. And,
well, how do you deal with grief?
You know what? It's an ongoing thing, man. It's So I'll say how I deal with shock, because grief is a process. So you kind of just dealing with grief is like rolling, it's like a rock rolling down the hill until it gets to a stable point. You know what I mean? It's a process. So shock will be the first one. And so the best analogy that I read was, it's like shock is like jumping out of a moving vehicle, right? And so when you jump out of a moving vehicle, there's two ways for you to land. You could either jump out and just land on the ground, and that's shock. That's like out of nowhere, impact just hits you, you know, and you just gotta deal with it. And it can do whatever to you. It could break your bones, break your rib. It could, you know what I mean? It could break your mental. And so the best way to deal with shock is, if you're jumping out of fast speeding car, you want to tuck, you want to roll, you know what I'm saying, and you want to brace yourself for what's about to happen. So it's kind of like pushing or utilizing energy. You know, that's the best way. That's the best way I can put it. Or just therapy, figuring out what's your therapy. I make music, so a lot of times when I hit with something that I'm not ready for, or something, or I can't process this feeling, then I'll go straight to the pen and just start writing something more in the booth and just let that shit out that way. You know what I mean? So
What are your feelings about seeing somebody?
You say what?
What are your feelings about like going to an actual therapist, like actually seeing somebody who studies?
Man, that's so what's funny is that during the panel we have my co-host is, his name is Afu, and he's a trap therapist. Like he showed, I think Let's Be Crystal Clear put me on to him. And so like we held the show together, and he was kind of like a therapist in the show. He was like, you know what I'm saying? He was just reading people, like whatever they're talking about. He'd be like, oh, that's, you know, blah, 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 blah. And that's how you deal with that. And he was just like taking our minds to places we didn't even know, like, oh shit, okay.
So does
That's
that
good.
open your mind to going to therapy? I'm asking this because I've been having a lot of conversations like with my male friends about
Yeah.
like actually going to therapy. And I feel like it's harder for males. Like most of my male friends are more against it than females. Like they're more open to the idea of actually sitting in somebody's office or sitting in somebody's face. And
Yeah. Because you got to think about who. Okay, so I haven't seen a therapist, but I want to. There was a point when I was like, I was fucked up, but I think my issues cater to a specific type of therapist. So when I was looking for a therapist, I was looking for a Black male heterosexual therapist that has been going through the same racial tension, in, you know what I'm saying, and having to
yeah,
deal with the same things that I had to deal with. So while I was searching for it, all I could find was white men, white women, Black women, and gay men. You know,
okay.
so so I was like, okay, this is weird. Like it's tough. And then on top of that, you got to think about the age difference that I would rather have. You know what I mean? I want somebody that's gonna be mature enough to guide me, but young enough where I can still talk like how I talk.
Okay.
So after meeting the fool, I was like, okay, that's somebody that I talk to. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody relatable.
Okay. It's very important to find somebody that's relatable. I went to therapy after I had my son.
Yeah.
There you go. I ideally had wanted somebody like you did, like a Black woman, a Black lady, but I ended up finding a white lady, and it still did me good.
It still did
She,
you good?
yeah, she did me very
Yeah.
good.
That's
I
what
do.
Flint told me. Flint found a white therapist, and his therapist was good too. Like
Yeah, I
he
feel
was
like you
like,
can't really, you should always try it out. If you can't find exactly what you want, you can do it by trial and error because you'll be surprised.
yeah,
But that was before all of this was going on. So of course the racial tension, I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, to make it a little
Yeah,
more
like if
different.
you want to speak about that and unravel that, that might be a little different. But a
Yeah,
Black
I think
woman,
that was my main issue, to go see a therapist. So I got an album called By Black, and I was dealing with colorism like at my job. because I felt like I was the only one at the table. So I was feeling survivor's remorse. I felt like when I was at the table, nobody was listening to me. When I tried to go for promotions, they just shut me down. You know what I'm saying? So I was like the youngest one in the room, the blackest one in the room, and nobody was hearing me. So I was like, fuck, man, I need to talk to somebody because this is really fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? But when I went for that search, the shit just made me more mad because I couldn't find that person that I was looking for. And so I ended up making that album, which helped me because that shit was therapy. It was me getting all of my thoughts out. While I was hosting this joint, that basically was telling me like, I asked the therapist like, bruh, so who do therapists talk to? Who do they see? Like, you know what I mean? And he basically was like, yeah, therapists need therapists too. Even if we know the answers, talking through the shit will bring us to a newer realization. So even if you're not seeing a therapist, you probably should still like just talk to somebody and get that shit out.
That's one of the biggest things that I think I took away from therapy. Like it caused me to open up a lot more, and that just helps.
Yeah,
to me, it just helps.
No, it's real. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I didn't really think about. I would say I'm more reserved, or you know what I'm saying, laugh some shit off, passive aggressive a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But actually talking and communicating, that shit's important, man. Did you see the Dave Chappelle show? The Dave Chappelle?
I did.
How did you like it? What's up?
So I liked it a lot.
Did you laugh a lot?
Of course, no. So of course, like me and my siblings, when we get together over a weekend, we talk about all of this stuff. So we were like discussing. First off, we were wondering if he promoted it as a comedy show. And then all these people bought these tickets, and he just
turned up.
just bombed them. So that was just. It would be great if he did, because then probably a lot of white people bought tickets, and then you were just forced to hear it. We also were discussing how you could clearly tell how fucked up he is about everything that's going on. Like, you just looked at his body language, like he moved the whole time, like he was fidgeting, and like he just
you saw him with the book. He put the book under his arm.
This moving. You could tell he was like, it was heavy on his heart. The side note to be funny about it, like his shirt was killing me. His shirt outfit, it was see-through. It was like a see-through shirt. That was the only thing I laughed about. I was just like, this shirt is killing me. Like he looked like somebody's auntie. Like he had his legs
bro.
with his cigarette. So that was the only funny thing. That's what I did laugh.
That's swag, man. That's swag.
Right, okay. Don't buy a see-through shirt. Are you Jamaican?
Come on, man. So,
but it was real. It was heavy. It was a good show. I think I watched it like 2 times. I think I want to go watch it one more time.
I did too. Damn, I watched that shit twice. I ain't gonna lie.
I think I want to watch it. I think it was crazy how he was talking about the dude that had the hit out for people.
Oh yeah. Chris Donner.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. So I didn't.
What? Yeah, they fucked him up. But he fucked some shit up though. But I didn't know he wrote like a whole
manifesto.
Yeah, manifesto. I didn't know about that. But yeah. But I remember that shit. It's crazy, man. What I would take away from it was, like, we always see these murders and all this shit. But when he put that shit in order, you know what I mean? And just one after another. And when you say it, it make it more real. I was watching that shit. I ain't gonna cry. I ain't gonna lie. I cried, bro. I was like, my eyes watery. I watched that shit probably like 4:00 in the morning, just looking up at my phone, bro. And
so I watched mine. The first time I watched it by myself. And then the second time I watched it with my 2 homeboys that went to high school with me, Lil D and Ray Ray. And I don't know, it's just, it made me, of course, like I say, I'm being real big on I'm trying to be real vigilant and big on communications with people that I love and that I'm close to. So it's just like, we took the time to talk about it. It's just like, how are you guys feeling? Like, as black men like raised in the hood, like this is a lot going on. Ray Ray has 2 kids or whatever. and he stays like downtown, like right by the Georgia Dome. So he's really
Wow.
seeing like the protest. The police station is like
Yeah.
right next to him or something like that. It's just like, you know. So I asked them how they felt. Um, like most of my males that I've been talking to, I feel like y'all don't really just open all the way up. Like
No.
they're just like, you know,
No.
it's a lot, but it's just
No.
a general answer. I just want y'all to open up more. You know.
I'll do too, man. You know what's fucked up is that niggas. I mean, it's a defense mechanism. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like dudes are taught like not to cry. We're
right.
taught like, you know what I'm saying, you better talk with some bass in your voice, boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? When we walk anywhere, we gotta have our defense. We gotta like protect ourselves
Yeah,
every
you
single
gotta
place we go.
so much.
Like it's so to say like, okay, so like, how are you feeling? It's like I'm straight. You know what I mean? That's that's the go-to.
And that's
What's crazy
exactly
is
like
that
pretty much what they were saying. Like in Lil D, like that day just happened to be a special day for him. Like, well, important day for him. His brother got murdered a couple of years ago when we was in high school. But it
oh
was the
wow,
anniversary of the last day that he saw his brother. So
yeah,
I went over there to kick it with him, and you know, of course, it's just like, you know, I could tell like his mom's more talkative. So I was talking to his mom for a little bit, and you know, I wanted to check in with him, and he was just like, you know, he plays basketball, so he was just like, I've just been working out with my kids, you
yeah,
know, just trying to keep busy and stuff. He was like, you know, it is what it is, but like
wow.
trying to make sure that all of my male friends know that I'm here and I
Nah,
appreciate
nah,
you
nah.
tonight, you
That
know.
shit means a lot, man. Hey man, I ain't gonna lie. I was sitting on the couch just early in the morning, like after watching the show, and I was just kind of like, I was in my feelings, so I was just like, I was just thinking, you know what I'm saying? My mind just going and going, but KP came up to me and she just hugged me, like she
Right.
just did, and that shit meant everything. That
I
shit
think
meant everything. It was like once she just like acknowledged me and just saw me, like I
that
felt
you're
like a
here. I
weight
see
was just
you.
lifted off of me. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, show that love because shit, we need it. And we gotta show the same love to you, bro. We got like I've been on Twitter. I don't know if y'all still get on Twitter, but I love Twitter.
Kind of. I don't
Folks
write on it anymore.
folks, I see you too, boo. But folks be having threads and they just be going and going and going. So right now on Black Twitter, there was a murder in Tallahassee. I hate to just jump to murders, but I guess this episode is based on murders. So there was a murder in Tallahassee. There were actually two. There was one was like this older lady. What's her name? Victoria Vicky Sims. She was 75. Double A RP. Like the worker. And then the other one, I can't pronounce her first name. I think it's Aluwatoyin. Salu. Her name's Toyin. She was 19 and she went missing for 9 days. She was like an activist. So they got videos of her in the middle of the protest, like talking her shit, like getting off, like, you know, and so this young lady went missing for 9 days, and then they recently just found both of their bodies.
Mm.
Um, and so like on her Twitter, she basically was like, I've been sexually assaulted, so and so, blah blah blah. That was her last tweet. You know what I'm saying? And then folks was reaching out to her, but no answer. So I think they arrested the guy, but from that, the conversation went to black males protecting black women, because you know what I'm saying, we see this too much. We see these sexual assaults and
Do we
just
want to unravel this, SSU, since you've been on Twitter? Have you seen that?
um like I feel two ways about it, because in one sense, um I think I think this is a distraction. Remember when I was tweeting and I was writing shit all backwards and wrong and shit, and you went in my DMs like, hey buddy, you spelled decisions wrong or some shit like that. And I still can't spell convenience. So I got to autocorrect. But anyway, so I got to talk on my phone and make sure that shit spelled right. But anyway, like I think it's a problem because it takes away from the black movement.
I
Like,
can agree with you.
so when you talk about like all the movements in the past, when they was talking about the civil rights movement, to distract people from the civil rights movement, they brought the women's movement. You know what I mean? And so now it's two movements, and now everybody's attention is being torn. Um, and so I think what I'm afraid of is that this is that. And also I seen some shit where the Supreme Court just passed the law for the LGBTQ
I was just about to
community.
say that. Interesting you said that because I had a
Right.
conversation with I'm not gonna say their relations to me, but a gay male,
Okay.
whatever, and he actually is a Republican and voted for Trump. We have
Wow.
conversations all the time.
Black or
But
white?
he's black.
Oh wow.
So
Why?
why did he vote for Trump?
No,
That's a whole
no. That's just peculiar.
yeah. I mean, there are black Republicans and
Yeah,
Republicans
yeah.
that vote for their party and stuff. I can say like the side note of the Trump situations, like now, because we had conversations like past conversations, and now that Trump is still showing the true colors that he's been showing, I find it funny the people that do support Trump now, like they're like, I support him, but I don't support all of the things that he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So our earlier arguments, he used to just like defend him, like, well, it's okay that he's ignorant. Like some of our arguments used to be like, it's ignorant for him to say he can't understand somebody as a president, and you have to have conversations with different world leaders. So that kind of stuff. But back to so we were having the conversation about what's going on, and his whole stance, like a true Republican, was it's not Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. And
Wow.
the point he was trying to, pull a point, he was like, you know how many transgenders have been dying. And like we concluded the argument or the discussion on equal pages, but I tried to explain to him, I was like, it's not all lives matter. What's important right now is Black Lives Matter. Like it's long overdue for us just to focus on Black lives, whether you're gay, transgender, like the
Exactly.
focus is Black lives because that's just something you can't do anything about, and it's a major issue. And I gave him the example, and I was like,
Exactly.
I don't ever, I was trying to tell him because, those kind of conversations, you got to be careful that you're not offending people. Luckily,
Yeah.
he's not an offensive gay, but I was like, I'm not trying to like take away from what's going on or saying that what's going on isn't right. But
Mm-hmm.
say, for instance, like I have a son, you don't have any kids. As my son goes to school, I'm going to be real heavy on policies on education. That's not going to be your concern.
Right.
So not to be inconsiderate of like transgenders or gays, but it's just not my concern right now. Like Black lives are just my concern. And
Right.
to muddy it to say all lives, I was like, y'all had y'all movement. Like y'all did y'all riots and got some rights. Like we still are at square zero right now.
No.
So the
Exactly.
focus just needs to be Black lives.
So on Better as Possible's first episode, I asked, "What are you? Are you Black first or a woman first? Are you Black first or are you a transgender first?" You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
your answer to that tells me if you taking it back, it takes me back to an old show. No, it really does. Because that tells me, are you Black Lives Matter or are you all lives matter? That's what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, do you acknowledge who you are?
Right, and you're Black, like no matter, and that's what I was trying to get him to see. I was like, it doesn't matter if you're gay, that you support
Ah,
Trump. Like the issue is that you yourself can walk your little gay self out the door, and just because the color of your skin, not
right.
anything else, some injustice can happen to you. That's
Yep.
not right. Like they're not
No.
judging on who you having sex with. They're not
No.
judging on your beliefs or your politics or how rich you are. It's just strictly the color of your skin. Things are
Mm-hmm.
getting done to you.
Right. 15 feet away, bro. They looking at you and they telling themselves, I hate you. From
And yeah,
15 feet
hopefully I
away.
got a talk
Now you
to
ain't open your mouth. You ain't showed them nothing. But they're automatically like, yeah, that's the guy I hate right there. That's horrible, man. And I guess since we're on it, there have been lynchings that they've said have
him.
been suicides.
Right.
during this
I've
tension
seen that.
time. So I think there's been 5. Robert L. Fuller, who was 24 in Victorville, California. Malcolm Harsh, 38 in Palmdale. There was one in Shady Acres, which is in Houston, Texas. One in Manhattan, New York, which is, I think, the second one in like the last 5 years. I feel like I remember one in Manhattan before. And then there was one in Portland, Oregon.
My question is, do you think this has been going on and is starting to shed light because of the movement? Or do you think that because of the movement it's happening a little bit more frequent than what's
I
what do
think,
you think?
no, it's the movement.
You think the movement is causing?
Yeah, and somebody don't like it. Somebody don't like the movement. I think there is energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so the movement, let's say that's good energy. You know what I mean? Which means that even that good energy is going to have an equal amount of negative energy. You know what I mean? So I think these lynchings is that negative energy that's trying to raise his voice and speak a little louder. You know what I mean? Until we recognize it.
So, can we side note? What are your feelings about owning guns?
I think you should own one. I think you
Okay.
should own 3.
Me and my sister had a discussion about this because I'm about to purchase a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it ties into your energy because I just feel uneasy. And I feel like
Yeah.
anything can happen at any moment. Like it could be somebody that is trying to capitalize off of the looting and all the crime, just a
Yeah.
regular Joe trying to capitalize off of that. Something could happen. It could be a white person that's just mad, a road rage situation. It could just be anything. And then I also look at the fact that these white folks have guns and they teach their children how to have guns. So if
Nah,
they
for
know
sure.
it, I need to know it. Like I need to know everything just in case I ever get in a situation. My sister, she's against guns and I don't know. I really
So
didn't
okay.
even listen. To be
So
honest, I didn't listen to her point of why she was against it.
no,
I was
I'll
like,
play
I'm gonna
devil's
get
advocate. I'll play devil's advocate. So I don't own a gun, but I'm afraid if I did own a gun, that I'd kill somebody.
one.
You know what
Okay.
I mean? Because that shit could happen just like that.
So that's
You know
my
what I mean?
sister. That is one of my sister's points. She thinks I'm a hothead.
Right. You never know. Okay. And then also, I'm a black male. And we saw with Philando Castile, all he said was, yeah, I have a gun in the car, but I have my papers.
Which my
And
sister did have that point.
he couldn't get to a paper before he had bullets in his body. You know what I
Right.
mean? In front of his child. So it's like, yo, I don't need a gun because everywhere I walk, I remember Jay-Z had a point, like, sometimes being black is tight because any room you walk in, people fear you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that's a good feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but would you rather have a
ease.
knife? But would you rather bring a knife to a gunfight or have a gun just in case? Like I feel.
I know that sounds stupid. I know it sounds stupid. But when you got there, like say if a nigga had a gun on me, I could probably talk him out of putting that shit down, rethinking his decision, or, you know what I'm saying, getting out of it without being harmed. You know what I'm saying? If he got a gun at me and I gotta reach for my gun to do shit, like I probably went. It's a lot. It's a lot to think about or process because something like that could just happen so fast. But that's energy. That gun is energy.
Right.
So
I don't know. My standpoint is better safe than sorry. And I guess,
sure.
my whole thing that I told my sister, I was like, I plan on being well versed on the gun. Like, so I don't want it to be something that I'm scared of. Like, I just want to know everything about it like white people do. And then I won't, I don't want it for the, pull it out, I got this. I just want it for, I guess, me and my sister had an instance at the house where it was just me and her. And she was leaving to go back to her house, and some car was like pacing up and down the street. So she said they yelled something out about the dog. She has a dog. And they yelled something out about a dog. So she came back in the house, and She told me what was going on. So she
Uh-huh.
got on the phone with my dad. I called the police. You know how I am. So I'm like looking for knives and stuff. We don't have any guns in the house. I'm looking for knives just to say I got something. And the dude actually comes and he knocks on the door. And this is late at night. And it's just me and my sister and it's a male.
Right.
And, we had shut off all the lights, locked the doors. But like I'm standing at the corner and my son was here too. He was asleep. But I'm
Yeah.
standing at the corner, like, get away from the house. Like, we're on the phone with the police. I have a gun. I'll shoot you. Although I really only had knives.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that instance, like, I just felt that I would feel way more safer if I would have had a gun.
No,
Like,
no, no. I
because I
agree.
was just thinking of all the scenarios that could happen. Like, what if he does want to come in here and I really only got knives? Like, I really
Yeah.
don't have a gun. Like,
Yeah,
how am I
no,
about
I
to,
agree.
like, get him, protect my sister? Because, Terica's 5 feet. And I got
Yeah.
my son in the bed. Like, so, like, just that instant, like, it's
Yeah.
just heavy on my mind. And I just think I need a gun.
No,
I
no,
feel
no. I think women need guns because the fear, like, it's like y'all can't go nowhere without like being, you know what I'm
correct.
saying, vigilant.
Talking,
Yeah, y'all gotta
something.
be on y'all P's and Q's, but you know what I'm saying? I hate for some nigga to just be trying to say what's up and then he gets shot off of some, you know what I'm
See,
saying, fear type shit. But that's
my thing, and Tasha and all of them said, all my friends, they were like, Angela, I don't think you need a gun. Everybody at how my temper is. And
yeah.
Tasha suggested a taser. And I was like, I really, honestly, knowing myself, don't think I need a taser because if I had a taser, I know it's not going to kill anybody. Now I'm going to zap the fuck out of somebody just for like you getting on my nerves. With a gun, I'm not going to like necessarily do that because I know what it's for.
Yeah,
It's for
yeah,
like,
yeah.
so yeah, that was my argument for that. Because yeah, if I had a taser,
No,
and everybody like,
I agree.
I think you racist. Like, I'm about to just hop out the car and tase you before you even say anything to me.
No, for real. Hey, yo said I own a gun for home protection. I think it's important to not fear them, whether you want to own one or not. As a parent, I'm always thinking of the worst case scenario.
True.
Nah, that's real. Yeah, yeah. This shit can get real, real fast. It's just, that's energy, man. It's hard. Um, how was your voting experience?
Mine was cool.
It was
Mine was
easy.
easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in and out.
Yeah, in and out, and then I was able. I don't know if you had saw what I had posted. Like my brother and his girlfriend were giving rides to people that needed the polls. So,
What?
one of my Brittany Arrington, she wanted to go vote. She didn't know how long her lines would be, so I ended up watching her son so she could go vote, and then I watched my homegirl's daughter. So, like on my page, I was like, if y'all have kids and you know me, like if you need to go vote and don't want your child, you can just drop them off. Only 2 people did it, but that's like
Wow.
what I offered. Like I wanted to
Yo, that's
offer.
amazing.
So
Mine was
yeah, I
cool.
thought it
1
was
hour
cool that
max.
my brother and girlfriend and they got food and drinks too for people that were standing in line. So I just thought that was really good. So I wanted to do my little part. And that's
Yeah,
what I did. That was my little part.
that's tight, man. Mine was cool. 1 hour max. I wasn't expecting that, so it went really. So I was really relieved. Yeah, that's tight. Yeah, ours was straight. We didn't really have to deal with that. But I had a shoot. I know a couple people that stay across town and they had some like they had like 3 hour waits. The machines was broken and all type of bull. As far as who you voted for, did you do like research? Did you get like one of those like practice ballots? Did you look up people?
I looked up people and my mom's real big in politics.
Yeah, what you is in
So,
Fulton?
yeah.
Okay, me too, yeah.
So I mainly since all of this been going on, we've been having a lot of family discussions. Luckily my parents, like they're kinda on the same view as us, like they're with the shits. So
Yeah.
I kind of like respect their point of view on different elections. Since my mom is really, really into politics, so she be knowing like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
inside stuff and like the little
Oh,
small
word.
print of what they're standing for and stuff like that. So that's kind of
Yeah.
how what I
Yeah.
was thinking.
I think I need to get in politics more because okay, so I didn't want to go on that bitch blinded. So I was like, I downloaded the little practice ballot. I started looking up people, but all I went to like their one pagers, and it didn't really tell me like much. It
Like
told me
their
a little bit
inside
like,
stuff.
yeah, I want to know like what you really about, like what you really feel. And from it, I just felt like they were all liars, because it's like you go to their page and you see their smile, and then you see like their arms crossed and how happy and great they are, and this is, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't really see.
Interesting you said that. We had a conversation about politics in general, and my whole statement, because I don't remember how we got about Obama, but somebody was saying like they were a little disappointed in Obama because of all the laws that passed while he was in. And my whole statement was like, if you get into politics, you're gonna have to sell your soul a little bit. Like no matter
Exactly.
how
Yeah.
good your intentions are and what you want, like politics is just such a dirty game that you're gonna have to give and take something.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to sacrifice like something that's not that important to you but could fuck up a small community of people that you don't realize till years later, because you were trying to get something else that was very, very important to you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
politics is just like you gotta have a strong mindset, I guess, to really get involved into politics. My brother actually wants to be a mayor.
Wow.
So I know, but that's like interesting because like I say, like I feel like at some point you have to sell a part of your soul if you're in politics. Like you can't
So
like
I think what you're saying is, along with politics, when I think of politics, I think of the system. Like I was saying on the last podcast, these positions are pure evil. No, but these positions they are the system. So when you talk about being a mayor, or you're being Obama, the president, or you know what I mean, even Keisha Lance Bottoms, who I think she's a great person.
I'm over
but,
her. I'm over her.
But exactly, you know what I'm saying? Like, like,
She doesn't. She's just the master's pet. I'm over her.
but I'm saying, but that's exactly what you just said. That's
She
exactly what
just sold too much of her soul for me. She just sold it too much.
You know what I'm saying? But did she? Because she turned around and got the guy at the Wendy's, got the police officers. He's fired. You know,
They have to be.
The police chief resigned.
They have to. This is Atlanta. This is her first little speech where she was all telling us what Ted Turner had to say about the CNN Center.
Yeah.
They
Now
were
that was ugly. That was
That's why I'm over
disgusting. That was disgusting.
Right. That's
You know
what
what I
made me
mean?
over her. Like after that, I
Yeah,
really
no.
can't take into value anything she says. Like I think
Come
she should.
on, man. Come on,
But
man. But no, I'll bring up the Wendy situation. So, for those who don't know, Rayshard Brooks was like drunk at a Wendy's in Atlanta. And the police were called. They pulled up, made him go through the whole what do they call that shit? Drunk.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
You don't have to laugh so hard.
That's a whole other. That's a whole nother thing. So they made him go through the field sobriety test. From that, they made him do the breathalyzer, walk, follow my finger, all that shit, and then decided to arrest him. And so as they tried to arrest him, which was kind of, I think, not even the way they went about it wasn't even legit. Like he just reached for the dude and just grabbed him, tried to like manhandle him, and then they got into a little tussle, a little wrestle. A lot of people say that he whooped their ass, whooped two police officers' ass, took the taser, and then went off and then tried to do the race. And then that's when they shot him while he was running away. And I think he might have tried to turn the taser back or something like that. But I don't know. The screen got a little blurry. I couldn't really see that part. So, and then they burned down the Wendy's. Well, somebody.
They shouldn't have burned down the Wendy's. They should have burned down the police station that was closest to it. Whatever police station got the call to go answer. Like Wendy's didn't really.
I think the manager at Wendy's called the police.
I mean, but was he asleep in the drive-through line or asleep in the parking lot?
He was asleep in the parking lot. And I've been in a situation where.
Yeah, like that's lame. Like he just parked the car.
The thing about that, like, I would say is the police could have easily just said, "Where do you live? We'll
Call
take you
somebody. Or call somebody.
Or call somebody. Or call somebody. I didn't even think about that. Wow. There you go. People will do anything.
I read that he was like down the street. Like he wasn't that far from his
Right.
house.
He said, I live right there. My daughter's birthday was yesterday. I've been drinking, and I just wanted to get some food. And they turned that shit to a whole nother thing, trying to meet that quota, I guess. Trying to, that ego.
Do you think it was them trying to meet the quota, or do you think police are like at tension? Like they're really super scared now. They've been scary and they're like super, super scared right now.
I think it's all of that. I think police go out. I commend police. You'll never catch me on record saying I commend police, but I commend police because they go out and they have to deal with bullshit every single day. Every single day they deal with bullshit, and you know what I'm saying? They probably didn't come in that shit fucked up, but even if they weren't racist, or you know what I'm saying, they got black friends. Even if they do that and they see bullshit every single day, that shit gonna have it's gonna take a toll on you.
Yeah, but you kind of sign up for it. I don't know, I'm feeling sympathy for it because you sign up, like you know what's gonna go on when you're a police officer, and then if you get in it and it starts taking a toll on you, you need to remove yourself.
You need to get out. No, you're right, but you know what I mean. That shit is like a fraternity. You know what I'm saying? And a big fraternity. I would say, like, if you in the military and you see a soldier like getting fucked up, you gonna go help that soldier. You know what I'm saying? If you a blood, if you a crip, you gonna help your blood or help your crip. If you a AKA, then you gonna fucking stroll on somebody's face if somebody messes with your partner, like
pinky to death, pinky them to death.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that shit is a game. Goddamn it, like
right, the biggest gang in America.
Nah, for real. So, when I think about that shit, like they could have easily just drove this nigga home. But see, that's the problem. I think that's the problem with the police. I think that they don't serve. Everywhere you go, they say we protect and we serve, but they only protecting the laws and they only serving themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's
right.
It's like, bro, like, when are y'all gonna start showing compassion and good judgment? Y'all be doing all this. Y'all be talking all this by the book shit, but
I think that one of the reforms, all police officers need to go to negotiation classes. Like, I even feel like in this tension right now, like if I was a police officer, like I wouldn't be trying to arrest or give anybody a ticket. Like my first initial, like with the tension that's going on, if I had to pull over a black person, like I'd just be trying to talk to you. Like,
for real.
Like I'm gonna talk you to death until like I know that it's a cool situation before if I do have to give you a ticket or something. Like my initial thing would be like, I'm about to go in here, I'm about to have a whole conversation with them. We about to become friends. Like this ticket gonna take 2 hours, but they gonna be real calm because it's just high tension. Like I don't know.
No, you said it. Like, okay, so that's a solution. Negotiation class. That's a good ass solution. I'm thinking, me and my partners was talking just yesterday, like what the police need. And so they got these huge ass fucking budgets, but they only making like, I don't know, like $40,000. Like I was listening to the radio. Some cop was like, man, I make $18 an hour.
Yeah, they don't make much money, but that's like a teacher.
But to go out there
for it. Sorry.
No, we need to change. Like it's the system. The system
it does need to change, but right now when you sign up for it, it is what it is. Like that price is that price. So you know you're getting that price, and you're signing up for that price for whatever reason you want to sign up for that price. So in this moment, like you just got to be okay with that because you are applying for that job at that price.
No, that's what I'm saying. We can't be okay with it. So I think that we should give officers more money, like you're risking your life out here, right? But I think they're overworked and underpaid. So I think they need 1 week off. Like let's work 2 weeks on the street, 1 week in the office, and then take a week off. And like mandatory therapy, mandatory negotiation skills, because they just building up bullshit all day long.
You know
Like,
what's interesting with real estate? When you become a real estate agent or whatever, you have to continue your education. You have to keep taking classes like every 4 years. You have to have a certain amount of hours. I think that's like a good thing that should be implemented with being a police. Like you have to continue to go take, like you say, mandatory therapy. Like I think it should be mandatory classes that you have to take every quarter, every year, where you like are
yes.
going through the process of.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I think they should be able to run them out. like run full speed in this amount of time, like
Or you're on desk duty. And if
exactly.
you have like I also feel like the law should be stricter for police officers.
Oh, most definitely. That's the main thing.
Like
That's
even like the regular laws. If you get pulled over for a DUI, instead of you getting a pass, like you have to go to jail. Even if you get somebody that calls and complains about you, you have to get fined or some kind of punishment, because I feel like that would be a deterrent of you just naturally just jump into it, because you know that somebody could bullshit and give a complaint and you'll be penalized. So you really got to stay on your P's and Q's. Like if you know that any little thing is going to do something to you in your job.
Like for real. And what happens to the police that go to jail? Do they lose their jobs if they go to jail, or do they just call somebody to get their fucking shit removed?
I don't know.
Can they become police officers in other jurisdictions?
Well, you know, they had that thing, and I don't know how true it was, that Florida was saying that any police officer that got fired or quit, they were hiring in Florida. I don't know if it was true or not. So
wow, but that's disgusting.
Right.
Florida is a gross place, man.
Right.
Florida is gross, man.
How do you feel about the people in Seattle that have barricaded themselves in that little area?
Oh, that's tight. Hold on. There is a line between de-escalating the situation and forcefully pushing someone into submission. Officers need to understand the difference and invest in their EQ to de-escalate situations effectively and safely. That is well spoken.
Right.
Yeah, like please, like
oh shit.
That shit is crazy. And it seems like even even their IQ always doesn't seem the brightest. It's like these cops go to cop school or whatever that shit is for about like maybe 3 months, maybe less than that.
I think it is something like that. I think it's like a real short time that it takes to be off.
They do that shit, and then they don't know no fucking laws. You go on YouTube. I just saw a video yesterday where there was a guy who's just testing the police, just filming them, but he had a gun on him and he was inside.
I just saw that.
They tried to say
I saw it on your page.
Word. They tried to say it was private. He was like, no, this is actually public and I have a right to do this, blah, blah, blah. And the cops just was kind of looking at him like, man, what's your name? And he was like, I actually don't have to tell you my name, blah, blah, blah. And then they was just like, you know what? We're going to go. And it was like 5 cops, and they just got in their car and just left. You know what I'm saying? Because
well, the supervisor had to step up, because the one cop who had his hand on the gun was kind of like wanting to be like, you're wrong, and he's just like, nah, you got your hand on it.
And you should think about this before you
before your name is on the lawsuit. And he really, you could tell he didn't know the law. He just was like, I feel like you're doing something wrong, and I'm telling you not to do this. And so.
Just a mad ass cop with a gun, man.
That's
all it is. And he needs therapy. And if you white, you should have a black therapist. And if you black, you should have a black therapist.
I've even told you the idea. You know how back in the day when the first police officers were police officers, how they couldn't arrest white people.
Oh, the black. Yeah, I saw that. It couldn't carry guns.
I don't know if I wouldn't be that opposed to that still being a rule right now. Like if you white, you go to your white folks, and if you black, call a black person.
No. That's another thing that I think the cops should do is, we need to have cops that are from this area. You have to live a certain amount of miles within this area,
because then they know you. Like I went to high school with old Lane Joe that used to do patrol in the hallway. So I know what he's doing. He know me.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? That would help ease the pain. Like, And then when you brought that up about the cops, like during the riots, there were two type of cops. There was the ones who was walking around knocking niggas in the head and hitting people with sticks. And then there were ones that were a part of the community who were like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I understand what we got going through. We're all angry right now. And I want y'all to know that I'm with you.
Right.
Like, why is that so hard for a cop to just be like, I'm with you. I understand. You know what I'm saying? And so, so I got a homeboy who got a homeboy. Matter of fact, Demetrius Campbell.
Right. I need to reach out to him. I've been meaning to reach out to him.
Everybody. And so he's a detective now. He up there, like, he good to go.
Yeah,
But my homeboy Brent was kicking it with him, talking to him, and basically he was like, yeah, so the Morehouse and Spelman situation where they used where the cops used the taser on the students and who were in the car, he was like, their lawyer kind of kicked it like, you know what I'm saying, they were attacked with a deadly weapon because of the taser. So in this situation, the Rayshard,
right,
he had the taser. So now they're trying to kick it like, okay, so he has a taser, which is the deadly weapon. So that's why it's grounds for him shooting him. Which,
right.
Yeah, we need some type of sessions discussing laws and policies protecting our rights, especially when being pulled over. We also need to know the ins and outs of warrants and when they're required.
Education is key. Everything that somebody knows, we need to know. Like,
exactly. Yep. And I feel bad because the information is out there. If we just search for it, I know we can find the information. But so we need to do better.
Right.
To know our laws and know our rights. But I do think somebody who knows that shit should be explaining that shit to us in real English, and as opposed to what I read, and then I'm looking at that shit like I'm looking at the King James version of laws and shit, and don't know what the hell I'm talking about or reading.
True.
So
there should be some lawyers or something could offer classes on knowing your basic rights and laws, and not like the standard of you have the right to remain silent, like really breaking it down.
Nah, for
and
real.
What's your right to remain silent and what can happen if you do this or opposed to you doing that.
Hell yeah. I love
because
those
it can get tricky.
I love those videos when they be like, no, actually under the process of 232B. Right. I be like, hell yeah.
But I mean, that's what police use against you too. Like, you not knowing all your laws, like they'll, read the paper to you. But if you don't understand like the ins and outs of the paper, like you can use a DUI, for example, on that. If you don't really know everything about how a DUI operates, you can easily get caught up in a DUI. Exactly. That's how I got my first DUI when I was 20. Me not knowing everything, me not even knowing anything about being pulled over or anything. But from me learning from trial and error, like I know never to blow.
Yeah.
Never go to jail. Don't blow. Like go to jail, take that shit to trial.
Take that shit to trial.
If they don't have your blood level, like, if they don't have that number written down, you have a very, very strong chance of being it. Especially like if you know, like
and
if you're
broke my heart. When he was like, I guess I can do it. I mean, I don't want to tell you no. Like that shit broke my heart. I was like, fuck, been there.
Nope, never blow.
Never blow.
I tell everybody.
I was watching that shit like, no, nigga, no, don't do it.
Never. Yeah, just do the field sobriety. If they ask you to blow, they're trying to take you anyway. Just tell them go ahead and take you to jail.
Because his speech was a little slurred, but he was doing everything they was asking him to do, man. Like
he would have beat that easily. He would have just had to spend a little money. But you don't know that. Like I said, you don't know that, especially if it's never happened to you. I learned from trial and error.
Exactly. Yeah, man. We got 2 minutes left. 2-minute mark. That's all right. We can keep going for a little bit. So yeah, the Seattle, the Barricades. I guess we can talk about that real quick. I love that little city.
I'd be in there.
I think that's so like cool, like for them to just like take that kind of control and
they strapped up.
Man. Right now, just let them live, man. Let them live. Let them move.
Well, I mean, they're not doing anything. They're selling food to people. They got a whole grocery store.
Free concerts.
Yeah, they just don't want anything to do with Trump.
Nah, I think they're making a really bold statement because what is becoming is that it's not even it's the people versus just the people at the top.
Right.
And it's like, yo, like the people at the top are not listening to
I
us.
feel like with Trump and president, like he's making it a strong point to be like, fuck y'all.
Yeah,
Like
pretty much.
he's such an agitator. Like he like all his going to Tulsa, going to Jackson, like you're like purposely like, I know y'all talking about all these races and all my rich friends getting fired because y'all calling them out, and I'm just gonna do this little underlining thing just to like take a jab at you or just to make you like react. Like luckily he changed the date, but how he wanted to have his rally on June 19th.
Bro,
Like,
come on, bro.
You asking to get like shot. Like,
oh, he trying to start a real race war.
Right.
And I seen some shit. I don't know. I thought that LeBron was holding a protest there at the same time as Trump for a second. But I think he's just making like a documentary on it. But for a second I think I saw a flyer that was like LeBron gonna be in Tulsa. I was like, what the hell is this? So I'm glad that didn't pop off. But yeah, man, it is getting pretty ugly, man. That nigga Trump he'll just do and say anything he wants. It's like this nigga is a mob boss.
Right. And he don't care. He don't think about it. And then he get his team to like support his BS. Like they find the reasons, like the BS reasons as of like, I think I heard on the news, like his secretary or whatever was like, oh, well, he thought it would have been a good day. Like, how would he think that? Y'all really sat in the office and sat in the circle and was like, that's the perfect day for you, white racist ass Trump, to pick to hold a rally in a city that was burnt down. Like, I don't know.
Have you ever watched the TV show The Watchmen?
No.
Oh, man. There's this show. Is it on Amazon Prime or HBO? I think it's on
HBO.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I just haven't watched it.
Man, please watch that shit.
Is this my friend?
It basically breaks down the Tulsa, all the shit that happened in Tulsa. It gives an idea of like all the black people got reparations for it. And then there are like racist people and how the cops
hasn't been sidelined.
Have to move like a little differently. But the way they wrote it, it's on HBO. The way they wrote that shit was phenomenal. The Watchmen was a movie, but now they have the TV show for it. Regina King is in it. She's like a superhero in it. Dr. Manhattan and all that shit. But it's a great movie. We got 2 minutes left, man. Angie, you want to wrap this up?
Oh, I thought she was about to ask me to rap. Like what?
No, come on, man.
No. Oh no, this your thing.
I know how you want to see you. All right, so thank you, Angie, for coming on the show with me again. Flint couldn't make it because he is just like celebrating life right now, and I am happy for my guy, man. He's moving to Atlanta, so
yay!
We're working on trying to get us in the same room while we doing these shows. So,
thank you, Kelsey.
So we will see what happens next. It's a lot of bullshit out here, man. And so I know that it's a lot of riots and we get angry and we get sad and there's a whole bunch of bullshit just going on. But you got to remember, like, okay, that's the first step. Now we have to put plans in action. That's the next move. Plans in action. We got to vote. We got to figure out who we voting for. When I went to that shit and I saw them empty ballots and shit, like, yo, they not even running for nobody. Like, somebody should be running for them. Like, shit shouldn't be easy for these niggas. Like, we got to just make them prove that they love us. This is the Better Is Possible podcast episode.
One more thing.
You got this. Remember that better is possible. No matter what you're going through, remember that better is possible. You got this. You got this. Remember that better is possible. No matter what you're going through.